Front man.
I'm the front man. Dom wants nothing to do with the camera. I can't even get him to come out to events.
Welcome back to Fishing Without Bait, a lifetime without definitive expectations, where we help people explode into their lives through full impact mindfulness. We're going to continue our conversation with Craig Goldberg, an innovator and an entrepreneur of InHarmony.com. I like what you're saying, and according to the Stoic philosophy, life can be divided into two columns: things I can control and things I cannot control. However, most people spend 95% of their time in the column of things they can't control. So we get back to those powerful words I choose, and those three main environments with a person has absolutely control over. And I love the way that you pointed them out: what we put in our mouths, what we put in our skins, and what we allow in the air.
That's right. I mean, if you think about it, that's how your body interacts with the world around it. Those are really the three main inputs. And we get to choose. Look, there's people that don't get to choose. Okay? My 4-year-old doesn't really get to choose. I mean, she can choose from anything in the house for the most part, but I choose what's in the house and what's available to her, right? So I get that not everybody can choose. However, my daughter will tell you very quickly what she will and won't eat. Doesn't matter what my wife cooked for dinner. She'll tell you what she's going to eat and what she doesn't want to eat, right? I mean, look, there are other scenarios where you don't have a choice. Certain schools, boarding schools. Look, we send my daughter to school with food every single day, and she knows that she does not eat the school lunch. The teachers know that she does not eat the school lunch. I'm thinking about switching her school literally this week to a school that has an all-organic kitchen. So it's one less thing that I got to do in the morning to send her off with food. So yeah, there is a lot of choice that we have as to what we put in our mouth, put on our skin, and allow to be kept in the air around us. And that's important. Your environment is everything. My wife and I have a consulting business that sits above what we do within InHarmony Interactive. And part of what we do is a 7-day environmental survey. And any of you can do this. You simply keep a notepad, you set an alarm on your watch or your phone every hour. That alarm goes off every hour. You logged what for the last hour you put in your mouth, you put on your skin, and where you were physically. And at the end of that 7 days, you will undoubtedly identify a ton of patterns of something that is not serving you and causing your discomfort or dis-ease. It's like really remarkable.
I like that dis-ease type of thing. Could you explain how you got connected and interacted with Dominic? I don't know how you pronounce his last name.
Carnival. Yeah. So Dom, it's interesting. So Dom was a client and a friend before we worked together. I ultimately met Dominic through my friend Scott. Shout out to Scott. Love you, brother. And I actually worked with Dom at a previous company that I used to do business development for, a managerial accounting firm. And then we became friends, and we were in the same circle in San Diego, having a blast, enjoying ourselves. I went to New York to tend to my mom. I actually, before I went to New York, I was traveling, as I mentioned, teaching, training, and educating about the efficacy of essential oils. And I'm going to the yoga retreats. I'm going to these festivals. I'm going to these conferences. And I gravitated towards the sound therapists. I gravitated towards the sound bowls and these acoustic instruments that give off a vibratory field. Sound bowls, gongs, bongs or something different, gongs, the didgeridoo, right? These vibratory instruments that create vibration. Your body is a big antenna. We are constantly coming into and out of what's called harmonic resonance with the world around us. And these vibratory instruments that we are presented with, these acoustic instruments, do a very similar thing and follow the same body of research that our technology does as an amplified sound system. And I didn't know what it was about these sound baths, but I would lay down. 45 minutes later, I'd wake up feeling like $1 million. And I would do it over and over and over again. And I'm an audiophile. I have a great sound system in my house. I pride myself on listening to good music, nice and loud. And I wanted that feeling on tap. And I won't forget it. I came home with a recording of a gong, and I put it in my CD player, I laid out with my center channel in between my legs, my front right, my front left, in between my arms up in the air, starfished out in the middle of my rear right and my rear left behind me. And I was just cranking this sound system, trying to recreate that experience in real time on demand. And it didn't work. Turns out I was using the wrong technology. I was using speakers instead of tactile transducers, which is part of our technology. And I kind of forgot about it. Didn't really talk to anybody about it. Went to New York, tended to my mom. She was in the hospital with a bad case of pneumonia. She gets out. She's back home. I fly home, and then I get three phone calls from three different friends. One of which being Dom, one of which being Scott, and another friend who was like, "Hey, I just left Dom's office. You got to go check out what he made." Because they knew me and they knew what I was about. I happened to have been looking for work at the time, and I had my first sound lounge experience, and I was blown away. And they had created what I was visualizing and manifesting in my head. And it was a full vibratory experience on demand using headphones and laying on this ergonomically designed mattress that was super comfortable, soft, and very, very forming to the body, conforming to the body. And for 15 minutes, I sat down, I listened to a track called Abundance, and I was blown away. I was writhing and hopping and jumping and just I felt like I felt after a 45-minute sound bath. And I did it in just 15 minutes.
Well,
And
that sounds like a good segue into the InHarmony meditation tools that you have on your site.
indeed, I appreciate that. Yes, I am. So that was almost 8 years ago, November of 2016. We made our first sound lounge. It was underneath a different moniker. The company was called Holistic Health Science at the time. And I was on one of their first 10 production units. And I bought one. And then I said to Dom, how can I help? And he said, I'm glad you asked. We need somebody to help us with business development and marketing. And that's kind of that's my sweet spot. So I started working in a business development function, doing events, hosting, running demos, getting people on and off the technology on a regular basis, and teaching people about our technology. And I've since fallen in love with it. I'm now one of the co-founders of the company, and we've put thousands of people. We have 7,000 app users. So in November of 2016, we made our InHarmony Sound Lounge. In January of 2018, we made our InHarmony Practitioner, designed specifically to augment bodywork with sound and vibration. Then we came out with our meditation cushion in June of 2020, and then our massage table in December of 23. And we actually just rolled out these headphones. These are brand new headphones that we just designed, InHarmony headphones, along with an InHarmony eye mask. And we continue to innovate and provide more and more value through relaxation furniture. And oh gosh, at some point in 2021, we launched our app 3-4 years ago, and have begun our record label and music production. We have 183 music meditations in our app as of
Whoa!
today, and
Whoa!
we continue to release more every single week. They range in duration from 2 minutes to 2 hours. That's not including the 11-hour music meditations on our YouTube channel. And I think we have one of the largest libraries of music meditations out there. I'm not sure. I can't verify that, but it's pretty big. It's a great catalog.
Well, obviously, you have some people behind you with this
Indeed, an
system.
unbelievable team. Absolutely. I am merely the face of this incredible organization, but we've got talented teams that help me and Dom to do what we do.
You're the
We
front
have an.
man.
I'm sorry.
You're the front man.
I'm the front man. Dom wants nothing to do with the camera. I can't even get him to come out to events. He's great in front of the camera and darn good looking too. But he's done this role in other businesses and he just doesn't want it. Look, Dom handles operations, logistics, manufacturing, accounting, finance. I handle sales, marketing, and front of house operations, and we have a cadre of teams that help us to do that. Manufacturing and manufacturing group with feet on the ground with our factories. We have an unbelievable PR and paid social, organic social, videographers, a marketing team and Sunday brunch agency. We've got incredible partners that help us to do warehousing, shipping, Incredible. It's a team of about 40 of us that are directly hands-on, and then the team grows out to 60 and 80 as you start to get into the depths of the team that I don't know and I don't talk to, but the people that I'm coordinating and collaborating with week in, week out, it's an unbelievable team that help us to do it, including our director of content creation, Anthony Weiss, who is full-time creating music.
So, do you make time now for relaxing, Craig?
I definitely do. And I'm well aware of when I need it and well aware of when I'm pushing myself too hard. And like I said, I ebb and flow in these periods of intense busyness, to go against what I had to go with what I said earlier. And other times, like my May, the entire month of May was go, go, go. From May 1st until May 31st, I was nonstop. And I said yes to a lot of different things that I thought were high value for my family. I put a trip to New York for 5 days in there for my cousin's bar mitzvah, my nephew's bar mitzvah. And I was literally busy every single day, one thing to another. By contrast, the month of June, I said no to everything. Nope, sorry, can't do it. Need that rest, need that relaxation, need to be at my desk during the day. And I was still working, of course, but I said no to events, speaking engagements, travel, all of it. July and the rest of my summer is going to be pretty casual, although I'm taking care of things around my house that I haven't taken care of in a long time. I set some lights up in my backyard. I finally put some misters out there. I live in Vegas. It's only 114 degrees every day. So, doing these little things that I've been wanting to take and moving different priorities up the priority list so that I can take care of my own mental health. Now, by contrast, I'm already looking at a calendar from Labor Day to New Year's Eve that is already stacking up to be bananas. And
Okay.
again, it ebbs and it flows. So I find time every day to get on the technology in one way or another, whether it's for 2 minutes or 20 minutes or 30, 40 minutes. And I definitely find time on the weekends to prolong that. And so does my daughter, and so does my wife. We have a rule in our household, and it's a rule that I share with anybody that has our technology in that household, and that is when mom, dad, or children are on the technology, they're not to be bothered. Not to touch them, not to rub them, not to ask them for anything, but instead to patiently wait until that session is done before you interact with them. And and we keep things quiet in the house to respect what they're doing. You're wearing headphones. You're fully immersed in it. You can't hear what's going on in the outside world, but we just maintain energetically and hold space for that person's rest and relaxation.
Well, please let Dom know that I love his last name. In fact, I had a patient tell me once that if I was going to get any more tattoos, the only place that I would belong is in the carnival. Uh,
There you go, Carnival.
so Mike and I, the producer of this program, Mr. Mike, he's a media maven. He's a guru. He connects people with technology, different types of social media platforms. Where he and I always have this kind of good natured back and forth about where I'm trying to help people disconnect to connect. And could you explain a little more about tech assisted meditation?
Absolutely. Technology got us into this mess. Technology can get us out. What do I say about that? I am sitting in front of one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. If you count my Apple Watch, 7 screens.
Whoa.
There's a lot of electromagnetic energy coming out of here. I mean, you want to talk about multitasking? I like the screens because I'm doing one thing but going back and forth from screen to screen. Um, but I like the screen space. The iPad controls my digital home, right? My phone is sitting here charging on a dock. I always have an Android device around because I'm an Apple everything guy and I've got an Android app. Anyway, tech assisted meditation. Technology got us into this mess. Look, I'm wearing a Whoop and an Apple Watch. I wear AirPods. I absolutely love technology and the convenience that it breeds. And at the same time, I think we need a break from technology. I sleep without anything on, no crystals, no Apple Watch. The only thing I wear is my Whoop, and I'm just wearing it for 12 months so that I can collect the data and then change my behavior. But for most of us, this world is so overstimulating that we can use sound and vibration to help quiet the mind. We say on our website, say goodbye to a distracted mind, say hello to a relaxed existence. And we use sound and vibration to distract the mind, to guide the mind into the depths of that meditative state. What does that mean? Meditation and sleep, for that matter, is nothing more than a perception of a slower brainwave state. Sleep and meditation is simply a conscious perception of a slower brainwave state. Your brain doesn't sleep.
No.
You're not hibernating, you're sleeping. But while you're sleeping, your brain is very much active, less active than when you're awake, yes. Less active when the visual cortex is sending signals to the brain. That's a big input. But in fact, your senses are turned off as you drift off into stage 3 and stage 4 of that sleep stage. And as you're going into REM, which is predominantly a theta or delta brainwave state, your brain is still active. Rejuvenation happens in a theta brainwave state. Cellular rejuvenation happens in a delta brainwave state. So your brain and your body is still doing things while we rest. And for many of us, we are just stuck. I look outside as the chaos is outside. Not right now. I live on a very quiet court actually here in Las Vegas, but in general, the world's a crazy hectic place. I live in Vegas. I mean, you walk the strip and you've got lights and you've got sounds and you've got people and you've got all these things happening. And the world can be a very overstimulating place. Think about how we perceive the world around us. Forget about what you put in your mouth, what you put in your skin, what you allow to be kept in the world around you. We perceive this world through our 5 senses: touch, taste, smell, sight, and hearing. And over the course of the day, your brain, which is sitting in a black hole in your skull, is simply processing electrical signals through your 5 senses. It's quite literally how we formulate and organize this reality and interact with this reality as well. So when you lay down on the sound lounge, your entire body is laying down on this bed. You are feeling vibrations that are coming up through the bed, and it overlaps between the frequencies that you're hearing in your ear. These are our new InHarmony headphones. Literally the first podcast I'm doing with them on, and they literally just went live on our website today. They're built to a high quality spec, 8 hertz up to 25,000 kilohertz. So that's 25,000 hertz. The human ear has a hearing capacity of 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz on a good day. That subwoofer that you put in your home stereo system in the corner of the room is typically 80 hertz and below. Vibroacoustic therapy is focused on studying 30 hertz to 120 hertz and their impact on our physiology. So we're talking about low-level frequencies. When you're laying down on our sound lounge, you are feeling frequencies come up through the bed, and you are hearing all of the frequencies in your ears. So the overlap of 20 hertz to 200 hertz, which is happening through the bed and through the ears or through the built-in high-fidelity speakers, there's a magic that happens when you are hearing the same thing that you are feeling. And we feel or touch through something called mechanoreceptors. Mechanoreceptors go from the tips of your hands to the tips of your feet to the top of your head. And it's what sends signals to the brain of changes in pressure. Our perception of that is touch. And when you're laying on our technology or sitting on our meditation cushion, every mechanoreceptor in your body is sending this change in pressure to the brain. And the auditory nerve is sending the same frequency to the brain through the auditory nerve. 2 of your 5 senses are now sending the same signal to the brain. It almost zeroes themselves out. And all of a sudden, you're able to process a lot less information at once. You're able to drop into that alpha, then theta, then delta, sometimes up into gamma brainwave state. And before you know it, your brain, your body is now in a theta or delta brainwave state, which is a target meditative state. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to be conscious or cognizant of it. You just have to lay down and push play on a music meditation and get lost in the music for 22 minutes. When the music stops, your session's over. It's 22 minutes long, so your brain has a defined timeline, even though it has no perception of time in that alpha, theta, delta, or gamma brainwave state. But nonetheless, this tech-assisted meditation movement is simply about using technology to help induce these deeper meditative states. And it can be done so very effectively, very efficiently, with very little effort on your part.
We'll be continuing our conversation with our delightful, insightful guest, Craig Goldberg of InHarmony.com on our next podcast. And Here's your free prescription: fruits, nuts, and vegetables. Unplug your television and take up fishing, and for a truly mindful experience, we fish without bait. Do a kindness for yourself and do a kindness for another. Forgive yourself and forgive another. Till all are free, namaste, my friends.
Please check out our website at fishingwithoutbait.com, where you can listen to the show, comment on our discussions, and find out where you can subscribe to our podcast. If you're interested in flying the colors of Fishing Without Bait, click the shop icon on our website. We have clothing, mugs, cell phone cases, and so much more. Show the world that you fish without bait. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com.